Okay, so let's go a little bit further with extensions. Now, as you saw from the last part, I had to take my left hand and use it to play the triad, just so I could take my right hand and to be able to cover the extensions. Now, fortunately, when we actually voice extensions in music, a lot of times we'll omit or take out certain notes. And let me show you what I mean. If I take this chord, which is a C major 9 chord, and I allow my right hand to play the E, G, B, and D, I can now take my left hand, and since I'll be playing it where I have the root in my left hand, I'm able to still get the same sound of the chord without having all the notes all stacked together on one side. So let me show you again. Here's a C major 9 chord. If I take out the C from this side and I allow my right hand to play that E, now I can play the C with my left hand and I still get the same sound. The same thing works for, let's say, a minor 9 chord. Here's a C minor chord, here's our 7th, and here's our 9th. If I take this chord and I take out the C and I allow my right hand to play the E flat, the G, the B flat, and the D, now my left hand is able to play the root, which is the C. So instead of having it all piled up here, I'm able to take a note off of this side, this right side of the keyboard, allow my left hand to play it, and I still have the same sound. Now the reason why this works is because this chord is a C minor 7 chord. And I'll play it this way again. So C is the root of this chord. So as long as I have C in my left hand, I'm able to still have the sound of this C minor 7 chord, C minor 9 chord rather. And I just spread the notes out. So a lot of times when we're playing dominant 7th chords or minor 7th chords, or if we're playing 9 chords or 11th chords or 13th chords, we'll actually take certain notes out of the right hand and allow the left hand to cover those notes. A lot of times when you play a chord, you don't necessarily have to have the root of the chord in the right hand. You can have the root of the chord in the left hand, because for the most part, you'll be playing it in the left hand anyway, as far as your bass note. So that allows you to omit or take away notes from the right hand. A lot of times when we play a dominant 7th chord in gospel, we'll take the chord, we'll invert the chord, and a lot of times we'll take this B flat, which is the 7th, and instead of having it on the top, we'll have it on the bottom of the chord. So that means taking it from there and putting it down here. Now if I put the C in my left hand, I still get the same sound. And since I'm playing the C in my left hand, I can take the C out of my right hand. I don't have to double up on it. And I still have the same sound. And we use this sound a lot in this kind of progression. So even though I took the C out of the right hand, it's still a C dominant 7th chord. I just allowed my left hand to play that root tone. So that's a little bit about voicing chords and how we take away certain notes in order to allow the hands to be able to play the chords smoothly. Now, as we start to go through songs and put in songs and progressions together, you'll see how I take out certain notes in order to make smoother sounding chords and in order to allow some space within the chord.